Good morning, Floss 2. It's Pam, stitching between the lines. Today's Wednesday. I lost a day. I was all ready to say it was November 2nd, but it's November 3rd, Wednesday, 2021, video number 101. And this is maybe a couple days late. I don't know. I try to do at least a monthly because I break my whip projects down into monthly focus pieces. So that seems to work. Sometimes I think I'll be ready mid-month to do something and then it just doesn't happen. So anyway, October 2021 was quite a month around here. We have been busy, and fall is always busy. You think summer is the most busy when you live by a lake, but fall starts your sort of cleanup season. And my husband does a little bit of travel for work, and I went to a quilt retreat that I've gone to a number of times. It's held twice a year, and there was a gap of when nobody went because it was COVID. It's at a retreat center, summer camp / summer camp over on a neighboring lake. I used to live just a mile from there, and I've talked about it before. When I go, I would drive home because they allow a certain number of openings for commuters. And this time I thought I would stay, and it's a half-hour drive now that we've moved, and it's in the evening, primarily when the deer are just everywhere, like everywhere. So I think we have 2 deer living in our yard. They're always out by the road. So anyway, I thought, well, I'll try staying and see what it's like. I won't know if I don't try. And it's very nice. It's very nice to be by the lake, and it's very nice to sew as late as you want and just walk across the street to the house where everybody stays, and you can pay for a private room, which I had a private room. It's still like a communal bathroom situation, and all the things are good. The food is good, all the things. I think maybe I will come home in the future. Like, anybody wants my whole retreat logic, but I was glad I didn't this time because the first night was so foggy, like incredibly foggy, and the next night it poured buckets. So nobody wanted to be driving in that. So we'll see. When it comes around twice a year, so it'll happen again in the spring, March. Kind of borders on not really spring, sort of still winter, but whatever. I'll probably do the come home version again. But anyway, I enjoyed that. So that was really nice. My main quilting buddies, friends, ladies, we finally are all 4 able to go and really enjoyed ourselves. So that was nice, but no cross stitch for that whole week. But I did get plenty of other time to cross stitch and got a lot of stuff done. So I made my little list, and I'm going to try to focus on it and not skip anything. In October, I primarily focus. I feel like there was something else I was focusing on, but there's no notes in my book. There's no, I don't know. I do know what I did do, but I was looking for the 2 whips. Like, usually I have one that I try to get a certain amount done on, or it's a lesser whip, and maybe I'll finish it in the month, and then a major one that I'll just keep working on throughout the month. I don't really know what was supposed to be my major one. Not that this isn't a gigantic one, but I'm still working away at the sort of idea of doing a block a month and getting it done by the end of the year. So what I worked on was this, and I was so, what's the word? Oh, exhausted of giant sections to stitch that I almost put it away and said, forget it. It's not going to get done by the end of the year. I need a break. But by the time I took a break from it and got working on it again, I think in October I put maybe this row of green in, and then last night was the first time I worked on it in November, and I did these animals up here that are on the hillside. I thought, all right, just keep plugging away, because I took my girls, which end am I showing you? I'm working on this hillside, putting in, whatever. I took my girls and I went to our LNS where I get my framing done, and they each brought a piece that I will pay for them for Christmas to get framed. So That was the weekend before last, and I thought to myself, by the time she calls that these are done, maybe I can have Farms of Hawk Run Hollow finished and take that. We'll see. We'll see. By the time I'm finished with all of, the hillside's not too horrible. I mean, this is the main focus of it, and then this is all the fussy bits. And then I have to do this one. We'll see. I would expect maybe by mid-December I'd have to have this done. So we'll see how it goes. Usually it takes me about a week to do one. I'm not sure if... I don't know. I'm trying. I am trying. If I could stay vigilant and focus on it and work on it, I could get it done. But I'm rolling it back up. It wears me out maybe a little bit. And it's funny because I don't usually wear out of giant projects. I love giant projects. I look at them and I think, ooh, that is going to be so much fun to dig into. So I don't know what it is. I don't know. Whatever. I'm working on it. So that really was my whip. And then starting October 1st, I'd like to say the wheels came off the bus in a way where, I'm very sort of regimented in what I start. But in the month of October, I lost all, I don't know what. I lost my mind. That might work. I lost my mind. I started 3 things. Right? That's not really me, right? Last time I started like that, kind of like with abandon, was like January 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. I started 3 like smaller. I think they're all with needle and thread pieces, and I believe they're all snowmen, and none of them are done, but that doesn't matter. They're not huge projects. Sometimes if I'm tired and I don't want to work on, for example, Hawk Run Hollow, maybe I'll pull out one of those snowmen and work for a little bit. Sometimes I show it to you, sometimes I don't. It's just little bits of work. So whatever did I start? Well, let me just see in my bags. So I thought I was stacking in some kind of logical order, which may or may not be true. Oh, let's see. Oh, here's a good question, though. It's a good question we could ask ourselves if any of my starts were things that I showed you in my kitted up wish they were whip video. One of them was. I'm just trying to have some order to my thing. So one of these things, talk about wish it was a whip, that I never showed you because it was laying out on my workstation. It was the With I Needle and Thread, Brenda's last year. She gave a little mystery. She posted a little mystery pattern in 4 parts. It was Merry and Minty, and I got it all out. I had the pieces and the parts and the fabric and the thread, and I just never started it. So instead of just putting it away off of my work surface, I thought I'll just start it. And I worked on it, I'm sure sporadically, and finished it. I started it the 1st, and I can't really remember when I finished it, so the 12th or the 13th. And like I said, that wasn't like steady 2 weeks of work. That's what it was. Because then on like October 3rd ish, I started a project that I showed you that was a wannabe whip. Yep, on the 3rd. And I only worked on it for a few days, and I really, really wanted to work on it for a lot of days, but I didn't. Was Little Houses Kringles. So this one has been hanging around, wishing it could be worked on for a while. I finally got it started. Love every little bit of everything about this. So I did the middle block, and then I just carried some bricks over for no reason other than that's what I was working on that day. I'm doing it on, I believe it's doubloon. I didn't, it's not that I didn't like the, what was it, a pearl gray or a really light gray that was called for. I just really wanted my store room, each inside the window, to look sort of antique-y and old. So that's where doubloon came in. So I love it. I think everybody who's worked on it loves it. And in keeping with the theme of what fabulous things Little House and Country Cottage release, heading towards the holiday season. I hinted at this one last time that I'd seen a sneak peek, and I thought it looked, whatever sneak peek, I thought it looked like a street, like in a town. But it turns out, not that this is bad, it turns out it's, a house and a barn and whatever. So Jingle All the Way, I purchased it the minute it was available, and that has come. I didn't start this. I'm just tying this to Little House, I guess. And I went to pull out the threads, which shocked me that I needed like 4 of the classic Colorworks eggshell. So I started making a list of what I needed, and I needed like everything. So I ordered the thread pack from Fat Quarter Shop. So that, and I don't know what the fabric is I picked. Something, oh, I could tell you. This is back in the wishes it was a whip because I haven't started it. It's a piece of vintage Sahara, 32 count. It's really creamy. Currently, that's what I think I'm doing it on. I like my Christmas winter scenes on blue, so it's like pretty blue sky. And then, okay, so what was the third thing I did? There were some things I was supposed to do in the month of October, and I did not. So those are over here. So I can, hold myself accountable or whatever for not doing them. I started this Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee. Oh, these things were so cute. I wasn't even going to buy the book. And then it was just, I couldn't stand how cute everything was. Especially, let me see if I can show you a picture. Yeah. Especially this little lady. So I got it out. I got the threads all organized, and I got fabric all organized, and I had every piece cut and labeled as to what it was. And I just started at the beginning of the book, and I just started sewing them. I've done 4 of the 6. I'm trying to show you in like order. This super, super sweet one is Broomhilda. She's cute. She's so cute. And then I did, Pumpkin Brew. I'm looking at the picture. One of these I left. Did I leave things off? No. I think maybe I considered leaving off the cobweb, but I didn't. It's there. Then I did, make sure I get the name right, Trick or Treat. Cute. Also cute. Equally cute. And then the 4th one that I managed to do was Boo Cats. And that's all I got done for the month. And that was 4 of the 6. I will keep working because the wad of thread that goes with this is vast. And I can't just stick this away. This is just me saying what I can and can't do. I could. I'm not. But and ignore all this thread that needs to get back into my stash. So I will work on the last 2 in November, presumably. I mean, everything's cut. Everything's ready. And hopefully get those 2 done. The last 2, which are this one, which I really like, Halloween Delivery. Isn't that cute? Okay, I really don't like that giant thread bow, so I'm pretty sure that won't be happening. And Ghosts and Goblins. This is a big ghost to do and a lot of big letters, but So Hawk Run Hollow, and this one will carry on into November, as well as I will try to work on Kringles for a little bit. So those 3 things are primarily my November focus. What I should have been working on and didn't was I had done the 2 strawberries in preparation for my Erica Michaels class that's a week from Saturday via Zoom. And I saved all the threads and had a piece of fabric ready to do this portion of it. And I haven't done it. And then the strawberry I had intended to do also in anticipation of having as many, a bunch of strawberries done. So I was ready for the class and the ideas and whatever we were going to learn. I was going to do this one. And I got it all out, and I have the thread, and I have the fabric, and I have everything serged, and it's all ready to go, and I just couldn't bring myself to start it. I don't know. We'll see. I still like it. It's not like I don't like it. So that's all the projects that are laying around here that I could be or should be or might work on. I don't know. Speaking of the Erica Michaels class, I did get the folder and I got my homework, so I have to do that, which is just a little strawberry in preparation for having one when class is being held. I do have several of the ones I made in anticipation of the class all ready to go, but I'll do the one that she gave us homework for so that I have the same one that everybody has in case she's talking about something specific that matches or goes with, or I think we might even have the finishing. I think we do. I think the finishing items are in there. I don't know what I did with it. Maybe it's floating around over here. Oh, there it is. I don't think I can show you the thing. I just think we have finishing products. Yes. Yes. Oh, here, there is a picture. So it's not anything really elaborate as class homework. So I'm looking forward to that. And like I said, and there's a little finishing kit in here. So that will be fun. So that's through Needleworkers Delight. I have no idea if there's still spots available or what the number they've limited it to or anything like that. So I can't really say. And then I keep ducking out of the screen because everything's like at the floor level. I ordered the Book of Days for 2022. I very much enjoyed having a calendar that I could spread out to see the full month. And this one I like. There's a lot of unused pages in my other book because I didn't need day by day sort of pages. I just want this. Room to write in, room to make a list of my whips each month, and then I'm good. So I ordered that. It was a pre-order from an Etsy shop. I don't honestly know what the shop was. That's bad of me. I should have gone and looked. I'd never shopped at it before. How I came across it, I have no idea. So while I was there, I made a couple purchases. So this was all the way back in September, but because the Book of Days wasn't out yet, I hadn't gotten it yet. But what I like is the unusualness of this pattern. I do not know how long this has been out. 2021, so it is new. But I just feel like I have never encountered it. But one of the things I love when there's sort of like a picture inside something, I just love that. So that is very cute. And then I ordered a pattern, that I have way back when. I don't know when. Let me see if there's a year. Excuse me. Dry throat. I don't know. Y'all don't want to sit here while I look. I believe this was a market release, and it was on my mental wish list, and then I talked myself out of it. But I still just love it. I just love it. And if it wasn't this one that was a market release, there was another one. Same idea. And then somewhere along the line, I managed to purchase a few more. This has been on my wish list for some time. This I keep talking myself out of. Oops, sorry. See, pumpkin picture inside of it. And this one was kind of on a whim. Maybe somebody's working on it. Maybe Steph of Pam and Stuff. And the colors are just way more pretty than they look in here. I don't know. Lifetime supply of projects. And then when I took the girls, went with my girls to the L&S, that shop is moving from where it is currently located, has been in there for 30 years at least. 30 years. And they're moving just down the road into a different space. So she's been cleaning out and getting ready to move and stuff like that. So she She has a bunch of patterns that were 10 cents. So virtually free, right? So I picked up this one, which if I don't have it, I've seen it a lot. I like all of the Saturday Evening Post pictures. Norman Rockwell would be my favorite artist, pretty much. So this one for a dime. And this. We'll see if I ever work on this because I have not pulled back into like live whips my autumn, what was it? My Heaven and Earth Design Vibrant Vistas. We talked about it a couple videos ago and I got it out and showed you. It's just not there yet. But for 10 cents, I thought, okay, I'll get this one. You know, I like a Santa. He's not 100% my style, but I got it. There it is. And then let's see. Oh, one more thing I purchased. This was, anybody who watches Pam and Steph, you know that they feature a Twin Peak primitive pattern each week, and you can get it discounted. You have to watch the video and learn how it works. But there's in the United States Etsy shop that sells some very limited edition kits. And when Steph showed this one, I stopped the video and went and bought it. And there were some left, so I'm feeling pretty smug. Haha. So, White Christmas, you know, I just love that like outdoor scene like that. I just love it. And it comes with the fabric. It comes with a little needle minder. And, this is a fun one. There's a couple little things in there, like a couple pieces of candy or whatever, but it comes with one of these that you put on the back of your work with the details about it. It's like a library card and pocket, and then it comes with the threads. So in a project bag. So that was just, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It doesn't look, it's just cute. It's my kind of style, and there it is all kitted up with a few little extras. So that's it for that. And then I managed to FFO 2 things, which is pretty good, although there's pieces and parts of more than 2 things laying around here waiting for me to get my act together. But FFOing is just not where my strength is or how I want to spend my time, I guess. So this guy, I have no idea why it took so long, because I had the little piece of styrofoam left from a remnant from something else I finished fairly recently. This is Watering Can Crow. And it was I've had it in my stash for years. It's a cute little thing. And it might have been 2000, the first year I think I did Mania, which was 2017 maybe. And this was one I did, and I did it 1/1 on some kind of larger count. So it's really cute, delicate little fall finish. And I had this crow button. So I was very happy with that. Oh, it says I did it in 2019, which doesn't have anything to do with when I started it in Mania, because I remember it just sort of was in limbo for a long time. I did it, it's some kind of, I wrote on my note, 1/1 on some random 18 count even weave. So cute as can be. And now that it's time to either put away Halloween things and leave up only the fall things, I can finally take that out of this room. And then I FFO'd this. I think I spoke last time or some time ago, fairly recently, about having 4 picture frames I bought at Michael's and trying to figure out I know, the one that I showed where I laced the piece to the foam core board to put it in the frame because the piece itself wasn't big enough to do any kind of wrapping around the edges. So that was one of the 4 frames. And here is number 2 of the 4 frames. And I had to figure out some way to make this fit nice and evenly because the piece is square, the frame is rectangle. So I added very clean gravel I bought at Michael's, And it's like the lake. Our lakes aren't sandy here in the Finger Lakes. They're rocky. And so I just love how that came out. We used to own a little seasonal cottage before we bought the house that, live permanently at the lake. And our little seasonal cottage was a little 2-story yellow colonial. It was as cute as could be. So that's why I have bought this piece and stitched this piece and then didn't ever finish this piece, because that's how I roll. So this came out so cute. It really, let me see. Trying to eliminate, oh, there we go. Reflection. So really like that. That's just the creativity I try to come up with, but I'm not really good with. So 2 FFOs, components of more FFOs. Maybe I'll have another one or two. And then I had, speaking of the quilt retreat I went to, when I went to it last time, I worked on this project. And then I said, before the next retreat rolls around, I am getting these done. So I had this pattern, again, for years to make these stockings that are quilted. So the pattern involves making a piece of fabric, it's not even square, out of, quilts. In this case, it's 5 patches and then solid blocks. And then making a stocking. And there were 2. I did both of them. I had the fabric, like I said, in my stash for years and years. And they're so cute. I have 3 fireplaces in this house. So one down in the basement with the river rock on it. I have some stockings I made years ago that are made out of old blue jeans. They're very cute. Old blue jeans, and they're accented on their heels and toe and cuff with flannel. So those go down there. And then in our living room is where our traditional stockings go. I have never shown those. I may never show them. They're cross-stitch. I cross-stitch stockings for all of us. And then in this room, in our TV room, family room / my sewing room, I don't have anything to hang, so that's where these will go. And I'm kind of floating around some ideas of a snowman or something that sits in each of these. Something. I don't know. Don't hold me to anything. So that was that. As far as quilting goes, I've been working on, again, these aren't mine to show, so I'm just talking about them because this is what's filling my time. Is a friend came across 3 quilt tops that were made by her grandmother. So I'm guessing they're 50 years old, the tops, easily. And she was a skilled, their piece. She was skilled. They're perfectly done. They've just not worn well. And that's not even a fair. They've been folded up in a bag. I don't even know where. And so when that happens and you've got all those raw seams and they rub together, there's a lot of shredding. So I've had to do some repair. And one of them needs quite a bit of repair. I will hopefully have that one done in a couple days. It's already quilted and the binding is almost all the way on, and I need to do something about a couple pieces I did not remove and replace. So that's on my to-do list and occupying a lot of my sewing time. And then I went to the retreat, so I sewed some things that are just in their raw state, not ready to be shown. And then I have done over the years 5 or 6, I'm not even sure. If I went around in the house, I could count them because I don't even have all of them. Bonnie Hunter, and this book was at hand so that I could just show this. Bonnie Hunter is a scrap quilter. So this is one of her books, Addicted to Scraps. I went and took a class with her, with my friends in Pennsylvania a few years ago, and that's what this book is from. And this is another example of a book I went and had bound so that it'll lay flat, because there's lots of projects in here. But the whole point is I just wanted to show you Bonnie Hunter's name in the event that you wanted to go find her. Her website is Quiltville. She's got a blog, she's got Instagram, she's got a website, she has everything. So anything you do that searches Bonnie Hunter will come up with her. But every year she does a mystery quilt. and she releases the information about what your fabric needs are right now by around Halloween. So they came out last Saturday, a couple days ago, and so the idea of a scrappy quilt is that if you look at this, it's red, white, and blue. But if you get really close to it, it's lots of blues, lots of creams, lots of reds. So you don't have to have 4 yards of red and 5 yards of blue or whatever. You go through your fabric collection and you pull out all the blues that are in the shades you want and the creams and the reds, and you can have a quarter of a yard. You can have some miscellaneous scraps. You can have whatever. And so when the mystery comes around, she will tell you every week. It starts the Friday after Thanksgiving and is usually done by New Year's Day-ish. She releases the clue, and it will be something that starts the process of making your quilt. And then the next week it'll be more, and the next week it'll be more components. And as time goes by, you'll start assembling. So I'm going to go I have my bin of fabric. I'm doing a different colorway than she suggested, and people will do that, and you can Google and search and look on her blog and see pictures and ideas. So I have been pulling fabric for my colorway. In this case, there's one fabric that's constant, and that will be my green, and my colors. So that's been my focus a little bit lately. The group of us 4 ladies went yesterday to a quilt store that's about an hour away, had lunch, and I mean, we feel like this is COVID-y. It's COVID-y around here still, and we just don't do those kinds of things. So yesterday we just felt like we were having a good old time, having lunch, and went to the quilt store, and you try to supplement like whatever you're low on. In this case, I needed my constant green, a few more blacks, a couple pink, like that. So I have to reassess if I have enough. There's a couple stores around here, and I'll stop, it's fun. It's a fun thing to do. And I'm looking forward to doing it this year. I didn't do it last year, but I did do it 2 years ago. I don't know. It's just, maybe I didn't do it for I don't know. Definitely didn't do last year's. I was assembling one when we first moved, when we were newly in this house, but I've lost, it must be 2 years ago, right before we moved. I had to pack everything up. So that's what I'm doing in the quilting world. As far as reading goes, I'm currently reading She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. And I have the book right here. Hang on, sorry. This is your opportunity when I step out to get to see the quilt, and you're probably all wishing I would step out more on the subject of the quilt. I know, people are have commented about trying to see the lower row. So, how are we doing? There is a pumpkin with a crow. A pumpkin like it's a birdhouse. Can we see? Hopefully you can hear. I don't know. This is a visual. This is visual story time anyway. And one more. This I did as a block of the month. It's a pattern that could be purchased. The Great Pumpkin, it's called. Somewhere on this quilt, and I've forgotten where, I lost or never got one of the monthly installments. And so I had to come up with something on my own. And I look at this and I cannot remember. It won't be one of the ones with an extensive amount of background, like with the chicken and all that, but I don't know which one it is. So I faked it pretty good with leftover scraps from other months, And probably if somebody else has the quilt done or has a picture of it, you'll figure out right away which one is the make do pumpkin. So this is probably the last video that'll have this in it. I'll find a Christmas quilt to hang there, hopefully. It's not as big of a spot as this quilt, for example, would like to have to hang in, but it's what I have here available for us. So, okay, so that was the quilting things. And, oh, the book, because I got up to go get the book. This book by Wally Lamb came out years ago. I read it back then, whenever it came out, and I don't recall that I liked it or disliked it. My recollection is that I didn't love it or anything, and then I found it at a book sale that was raising money for a library, a library book sale. It came out in 1992, so I probably read it right around then. And so I picked it up, and I've been reading it. I'm 3/5 of the way through, maybe. I still don't like it. I guess in the 20-some years, almost 30 years, excuse me, sorry, I've forgotten what it was I didn't like about it. So I really couldn't recommend this book. And then I'm listening to the audiobook version of Jojo Moyes' The Giver of Stars. That is a good book. I don't typically like excuse me, I am so sorry. I typically don't like Jojo Moyes books. I don't want to put an author down. They're just, every story, every author is not for everybody. But this one, The Giver of Stars, is a very good book. It's a good story. A young woman in the 1930s from England, she meets a man who is visiting the country with his father, and sparks fly. They got married. She comes back with him, and he's the father's father. So the young woman's father-in-law owns a mine in Kentucky. And life is not what she thought. She thought she'd be living in a city in New York or wherever, and it would be exciting city life, and instead it's small town life. And she just can't really make sense of or fit into the usual things and activities that ladies of leisure occupy themselves with. So when she's at a town meeting or a church meeting or something, and somebody speaks about wanting to start a traveling library with funds that came from Eleanor Roosevelt and her programs, and in the effort to spread reading and spread the ability to have books into the poorer regions of the country, the main character of the story joins up. And so she's riding her horse, and she's making the library that's begun, and she's making friends, and how it survives, and what she encounters when she's out there, and that kind of stuff. It's a good story. I'm not done with it yet. Maybe I'm a little more than halfway done. It's a good, I'm doing the audio book, so I think it said it had 5 hours left, so I don't know. I'd have to look. But I'm enjoying it. It's a very good story. So if you happen upon Jojo Moyes' The Giver of Stars, pick it up and read it. It's a good one. So there you have it. November is always a busy month for us. It's my son's birthday's in November, and then Thanksgiving's in November, and then it starts, of course, the whole Christmas thing. It's fun. It's always fun. This morning, snow is a constant threat. Yesterday when we were driving back from the quilt store, we cross all the hills. It's on the shore. The quilt store is in a town at the southern tip of another one of the Finger Lakes, and so you climb a lot of hills when you go between the lakes, down and around and up and over, and we got a little stuff with weather-ish stuff they call grapple, which is sort of like a freezing rain. And then one of our friend's husbands sent a text and said it was snowing at their house, but when I got home we didn't have anything. But today when I went out to run my errands, I was at the gas station. It was really nice when I left, and I was wearing sunglasses and everything and did my errands and whatever, and I was at the gas station, and it had gotten real dark, and I could tell it had gotten real cold. I could see my breath. So we're into that kind of weather now. But I don't mind the first snowflakes. To me it's exciting. Of course, I don't want to be on the road with the snow, and I don't want my kids on the road with the snow and things like that. But the first snowfall is always kind of magical. So we have yet to see that. it can happen before Halloween, but the weatherman gave statistics, and about half the time it snows before Halloween. So we'll get it. It'll come. No fear. So there, when I'm back, it'll be early December, end of November, early December, and maybe. Oh my gosh, I can't even say it out loud. Could I have Hawk Run Hollow done? I will have. I hope I can just don't have to quit in. It's not even frustration. It's just like boredom with it, I guess. Probably. That's probably what it is. But at any rate, I'll have stitched something, whether it's done or not. There will be progress to show you by this time December. So have a good one. Happy holidays if you're in the United States and celebrating Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has a nice, safe holiday. I don't know. I don't know what the trends are in what people do to get together still during COVID. My hairdresser, who was vaccinated, was so sick, so sick, as was her husband and two of their children who were too young to be vaccinated. So doesn't really give me a lot of confidence in the vaccine. So I don't know. We still just try to lay low and do what we're supposed to do and sneak a quilt retreat in every now and then where everybody's vaccinated. Like there's no debate. So it makes you feel a little bit safer. So anyway, enough. I don't think any of us will be sorry to see 2021 come to an end. So until next time, bye.